So what brings you on out here to this October 18th No Kings Portland demo protest, or soon to be would-be riot?
You call it what you want. It's a protest against Donald Trump, against this country, and against God. There is one true king. That's why I'm out here. I'm out here to show support of every one of these guys. This guy, he's the reason I'm here. Tommy, man. I mean, I seen him out doing his thing, showing up for the people that want to show up but can't. I mean, we got patriots across the country blessing us down because they want to be here but they can't. So, really my message is if you can, come. Please, we need you.
I got a second question. If you were a resident of Oregon, have you ever followed the politics, specifically the Greater Idaho movement?
Absolutely. I 100% support it, and I don't blame 70% of the state for wanting to leave, I think it's smaller than that. Like 40% of the state wants to secede into Idaho?
Yeah, about like 13 to 14 had passed resolutions, and then they even got legislators from Idaho. But what was your take then about like how it's spread by word of mouth? Do you think they could do more, or do you think that there's only so much they can do?
I think that they do probably do a lot, but we live in the three counties where that basically control the whole state, and they're not going to allow that kind of publication on the street corners, on the sidewalks, on the buildings. They won't do that. But I'm sure the people of the counties that do want to secede, I'm sure it's a lot more than word of mouth, But unfortunately, the populace isn't there. It's here,
The second question I did have relatedly, there was in fact actually a conference that was actually being held regarding the spokesperson for Greater Idaho meeting with people from Portland regarding Cascadia as well as others. And one of the interesting languages they used was that they said that Cascadia was a people, while at the same time they were deciding they define Oregon and the U.S. as just mere ideas. How do you take to that, especially in light of the Cascadian flag being used a lot in the anti-ICE and even in the firebombing, torching, and a lot of the arson against the U.S. governments?
And I'm gonna look like a dummy, but I'm not quite sure what the Cascadia flag is, to be honest.
Well, for the Cascadia flag, it's the one that's the plain white backdrop with a green Cascades tree in the center.
Oh, okay, yeah, I got you.
And it's got a blue hue to it, but basically it's been the one brandished you may have seen by now at the ICE facility.
No, I have seen it.
It's green and blue, and white for the lettering.
But it just has a tree on it, a pine tree?
Yeah, a pine tree, but otherwise it's recognizable. Between that and the Native American spokeswoman, she made also an interesting little jab, too, because she's trying to talk about the wording of government being focused around white men. What do you take to that, especially with them kind of enveloping an idea like Cascadia at the same time by claiming that's defined, but American borders are not, or laws and...
They're definitely still down there.
I mean, the laws are. They're in place, and there are laws. But if you've been around here, you see that they don't enforce the laws. Really, they kind of almost write their own laws in Portland. Being a sanctuary city is a federal crime, but they have literally made themselves a sanctuary city. So, as far as the laws regarding that, I think Portland's going to push whatever they want because they have absolute control. And unfortunately, the far left is leading that side of our country.
We won't be able to see my.
Then I suppose this is a long tangent, but how do you believe that with ICE being funded and with focus by the feds on Portland, that Greater Idaho movement could actually be pinpointed or at least pointed to again on a map with Portland? Do you think that would happen, or do you think it's too divided for even the federal government to help put that idea out?
I don't think we're ever too divided to have the federal government step in and take control. It's just how much control, you know? I mean, there's definitely a need for some control here, you know what I mean? Especially protecting our federal buildings and really getting the drugs and the homelessness off the streets. I mean, we need federal intervention for that. So I'm 100% in support, and I believe that they could come in and change the state for the better. And if they do, there wouldn't be a need to secede into Idaho. Let's make Oregon great again, right?
Thanks. What brings you out here?
Charlie Kirk, Donald Trump, ICE, America, all these patriots, and all these terrorists. Well, they're not all terrorists, but all the Antifa that have embedded themselves with all these peaceful protesters. That's what we're out here for.
And I had a second question. So, if you were a resident of Oregon or lived in the state long enough, what would have been your take on a Greater Idaho movement?
Oh, we believe in what the Greater Idaho movement for sure. Definitely.
Then I actually wanted to respond then. If you had heard that they actually did premiere in Portland for a conference and they were a speaker with a Cascadian and a Lummi Nation, basically one of the tribal, and their response to him, the spokesperson, was that Cascadia was actually more than an idea but an actual definable people, but then claimed the U.S. and its boundaries were just mere fictions or ideas.
Yeah.
What was your take to that, especially with the Cascadian flag being waved at ICE torches and DHS attacks?
Looked into that. I haven't read into that or seen into that enough to speak on it right now.
But just off of first-hand experience, because if you've seen the flag, you know which flag that Cascadia has, the green, blue, and the pine tree in the center.
Yeah.
Just off of that, and if you heard that people were trying to say that that is definable but not the U.S. flag, what would be your
That's
take?
ridiculous. It's outrageous. It's absolutely ridiculous.
And then I guess it's actually worth asking then, with regards to the Greater Idaho movement, how likely do you feel that it can actually be centered in Oregon if there's federal intervention? Or do you think even that would not be enough to get a point back on the map for it?
It's going to take a miracle for it to happen. They're going to fight it to the fullest out here.
Well, for sure. Democratically elected.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know a lot about it to talk about it like that, but